Pixel art may be retro by design, but in 2025, it's more alive, ambitious, and absurdly stylish than ever. From time-bending epics to haunted westerns dripping with dread, developers are turning tiny pixels into gigantic worlds packed with charm, challenge, and emotional gut punches. This is a genre renaissance. So if you're looking to cry over cursed lighthouses, punch eldritch horrors in the desert, or just vibe with some time-displaced knights, this year's pixel art lineup has something for every adventurer. So dust off your love for lo-fi beauty and get ready, because these 10 new games are anything but small. Aethermancer. Caught in a cycle nastier than your sleep schedule during Steam sales, this adventure hurls you headfirst into a pixel-painted purgatory called Terraste, where monsters break the rules of life, death, and etiquette. You play as an Aethermancer, which sounds fancy because it is. Apart from being a magic-wielding soul whisperer, you're also the glue that binds a monster trio tighter than a boy band from the underworld. Every creature you bond with can become a poison-spitting menace, a shield-slinging tank, or a devastating elemental nuke, if you don't get them killed first. You'll juggle the 4 elements of ether like a caffeinated avatar, purging enemy essence, poisoning threats, shielding your darlings, or just burning everything in sight. But there's a catch. If a monster bites the pixel dust, they're gone, like your favorite discontinued snacks. Unless you pull some reincarnation magic and bring them back in slightly altered, red, weirder but tougher forms. Permadeath has never been this poetic. Goodbye, Seoul. When the sky is falling and humanity's got 6 months left on the lease, what do? If you're Rion, the answer is simple. Grab your backpack, ignore the apocalypse-induced anxiety, and dive headfirst into the shattered remains of Seoul in search of a top-secret space escape plan. The city's been beautifully broken, every cracked billboard and flooded alley oozing pixelated despair. And you're here to uncover the secrets left behind by a civilization too busy panicking to finish what it started. This emotional puzzle platformer is about navigating grief, fear, and a good old-fashioned conspiracy. You'll form fragile alliances with desperate survivors who may or may not trust you, avoid confrontations with those who absolutely don't, and make choices that shape what little remains of your world. The puzzles are integrated with the environment, meaning nothing's just for show. Every rusted sign, every fallen slab of concrete, every hidden passage could be a clue. Super Zoo Story. In a genre increasingly saturated with farming clones and surface-level relationship simulators, this title stands out by combining ecological simulation with narrative depth and robust sandbox mechanics. Here, you assume the mantle of legacy and stewardship, inheriting not just a derelict zoo, but an island ecosystem whose fate is intertwined with your own. The structure is deceptively charming. Pixel art presentation masks a simulation engine that thrives on complexity and emergent behavior. With over 70 unique animal types, including genetically customizable dinosaurs, the biodiversity management alone will require methodical planning and adaptive playstyles. Each species within this simulation has its own biomechanical demands, dietary, environmental, and medical, which introduces a nuanced caregiving system beyond the basic feed and forget mechanics seen in traditional life sims. The DNA recombination mechanic further elevates the system, allowing players to experiment with phenotypic variation, resulting in emergent cosmetic patterns and previously unencountered hybrid aesthetics. This feature is not merely cosmetic. It may subtly affect animal behavior, enclosure compatibility, or environmental tolerances. Outside the zoo gates, a dynamic island community of 40-plus NPCs forms the social backbone of your experience. These characters are not static quest givers. They follow daily routines, evolve in relationships, and can even become part of your familial unit. back in time. If history class had let you punch Napoleon and solve puzzles in ancient temples, maybe you wouldn't have spent it doodling in the margins. This wild, time-bending adventure throws you headfirst into critical points across history, where the goal isn't to memorize events, it's to change them. Dodge arrows in feudal Japan or disable bombs in 1940s Europe. Every mission feels like a chaotic love letter to time travel and butterfly effects. One moment you're locked in a stealth segment sneaking past paranoid emperors, the next you're solving a clockwork puzzle while the timeline melts around you like a Salvador Dali fever dream. Every level introduces a new twist, and the further you go, the more the game dares you to master time itself. You'll gain mind-warping powers like freezing enemies in their tracks, rewinding botched jumps, or summoning your own time echo for double the chaos. But beware, time is a two-faced friend. Fixing one disaster might cause another, and your timeline tinkering could backfire with hilarious or horrifying results. It's frantic, clever, and dangerously addicting. Long gone. Silence drips from the walls like mold, and the mail hasn't been picked up in, well, let's just say the apocalypse didn't come with a return to sender option. This moody narrative journey is about rummaging through what's left behind when the world taps out. You step into a decaying suburb where each drawer, closet, and dusty shoebox hides a piece of someone's life. No combat, no big explosions, just you, your curiosity, and the occasional shuffler lurching into your personal space like a nosy neighbor from beyond the grave. Gameplay flows between 2.5D platforming across vine-choked streets and quiet, eerie 3D exploration inside the homes of the long gone. The undead? They're puzzles in disguise, obstacles that require brains, not bullets, to bypass. And the vibe? It's a beautifully melancholic mix of low-poly pixel visuals and lo-fi emotional storytelling that'll tug your heartstrings while you're elbow-deep in someone's old record collection. The Lighthouse Is My Home. There's no vacation package quite like living alone on a cursed island where fog has commitment issues and the map rearranges itself like it's playing hide-and-seek with your sanity. As the grizzled lighthouse keeper, your only job is deceptively simple: keep the fire burning. The problem? Everything else is on fire too, except it's cursed fire, and also fog, also pirates, also gladiator arenas. You get the idea. This roguelite throws you into a constantly shifting nightmare buffet of exploration, events, and choices. Each day greets you with random chaos. Maybe it's a crashed merchant ship full of loot, maybe it's angry pirates itching to turn your bones into toothpicks, or maybe it's just your lucky day to brawl in the sandpit for coin. Whatever happens, death is just a foggy inconvenience. Revive, adapt, and try again. And don't forget the golden rule. Always make it back to the lighthouse with loot before your fire sputters out like a budget flashlight. The magic's in the synergies. Ancient artifacts and trinkets with mysterious effects will randomly combine into OP combos or comedic disasters. You never know what build you'll end up with, but every loop makes you stronger, weirder, and more obsessed with that damn flame. Threads of time. Some heroes get summoned to fantasy realms, others to space battles. But in this wild, chrono-chaotic escapade, your crew gets yanked through the entire timeline like a spaghetti noodle on a history binge. One minute you're dodging dino jaws, the next you're unraveling conspiracies in neon-lit cyber slums, and somewhere in between you're teaming up with a knight, a rogue AI, and possibly a caveman who punches time itself. No big deal. This time-hopping epic is a pixel-perfect blend of retro soul and modern muscle, thanks to Unreal Engine 5 flexing its fancy lighting on lovingly drawn 2D sprites. And the combat? Oh, it's not just turn-based, it's turn-tactical. You'll chain together attacks with party members, manipulate time like a smug chrono wizard, and unleash beautifully animated combos that'll make you feel like a tactical genius and a director of vintage anime all at once.
Yeah. cursed town of Tombwater. Tell me, lone gunslinger, why have you come to this decrepit settlement?
Tombwater. The locals aren't all right. The sheriff's missing, and the only thing more cursed than the mining tunnels is your chances of making it out with all your limbs attached. Welcome to Tombwater, a godforsaken dust bowl where the tumbleweeds whisper eldritch secrets and even the cacti probably want to kill you. You roll into town looking for a friend, but find yourself ankle-deep in cosmic horror, guns blazing against the kind of things that'd give Lovecraft indigestion. This 2D top-down nightmare fuses Souls-like brutality with classic Western grit. Combat is razor-sharp and punishingly precise, whether you're gutting horrors with a cavalry saber, unloading a flame-kissed shotgun, or chucking homemade explosives brewed in your trusty apothecary kit. And with spells, charms, and a rotating arsenal of steel and fire, your loadout can be as flexible or unhinged as you are. The world is a twisted Metroidvania sprawl of canyons, ghost mines, rotten forests, and dusty homesteads stitched together with secrets, side quests, and doomed NPCs muttering about the void. And let's not ignore the 20-plus bosses, massive, grotesque, and each designed to slap you 6 ways into Sunday. Of Hammerwatch II. When your vacation idea involves death loops, deadly traps, and loot-fueled carnage, this chaotic crusade delivers. You're basically waging war against the ever-changing horrors of the Dark Citadel with a battle plan that's equal parts roguelite madness and action RPG hoarding obsession. Every expedition into these procedurally generated death traps means new loot, new builds, and new ways to get smacked around by pixelated pain. But hey, win or lose, you're always bringing something back. Gear, upgrades, or at the very least, trauma. The combat? Fast, crunchy, and wildly class-diverse. And if you thought loot was king, meet the gear system that lets you enchant, attune, upgrade, and tweak every item into your dream murder toy. Between runs, your home base becomes a construction project/RPG heaven. Build up your town, stash trinkets, and unlock NPCs that make every run more fun or more absurd. And when you think you've finally conquered it all, New Game Plus cranks the dial past insanity with harder mobs, shinier gear, and infinite level-ups. Yes, Your Grace, to Snowfall. As the burdened king of a war-torn realm, your throne is less of a seat of power and more of a medieval complaint box. Every day, a conga line of desperate souls, cunning schemers, and lovable oddballs show up asking for gold, justice, or chickens. And you've got limited coin, limited patience, and way too many fires to put out, some of them literal. Your decisions shape the fate of Davern. Do you save the village from bandits or save your coin for winter rations? Every choice echoes through future events, political relationships, and the strength of your kingdom heading into a looming war. That's right, it's not just crop taxes and petty squabbles. There's a battle brewing, and your success depends on how well you play the Game of Thrones, legally distinct. Then there's your family. They're not just there for warm fuzzies. Your relationships with your children and spouse can boost morale or shake the kingdom's very foundation. Between Slavic myths, romantic agent entanglements, and the constant dread of famine, you'll rule, regret, and hopefully survive Snowfall. Who needs ultra-realistic lighting and billion-dollar polygons when a handful of pixels can break your heart, blow your mind, or trap you in a dungeon full of death chickens? The 2025 pixel art scene is bursting with creativity, taking familiar styles and injecting them with wild mechanics, bold ideas, and unforgettable vibes. So if you're a die-hard fan of 2D perfection or a newcomer drawn in by the magic of handcrafted charm, these games prove that pixel art is thriving. So go ahead, wishlist them all, and prepare to lose hours in these little worlds with big ambition.
I saw you before you threw open the doors of time and space and turned the world on its head.